later on, various things. But one of the clearest realization I had is that I'm a human being. I can never repeat it enough. Why? Because if you realize you are a human being, that's all you need to know. Really. Anything else that you hear or read is just information. Now, the being is strength itself. It's invulnerability. It's that which lasts. It's that which is always clear, always now, never changes. The human, this is the interesting part, the human always resists the being. But it's always seeking the qualities of the being. And I'm going to prove to you, because I've been getting a lot of emails lately. How do you answer these emails? By knowing a very simple thing. And I'd like you to really hear it. If you never heard it before, feel that you're hearing it for the first time. Okay? And if you hear this, you're going to understand in a whole new plateau. I know I did. Okay? And a whole new way of seeing. And it is this. And incidentally, when I did realize I was a human being, what happened was, it was so incredibly moving. I was reading Course in Miracles at the time. It was only a few years ago when I was with Sylvia. I went to the washroom and I looked at it just to see what the human looks like. Because who was looking was the being. And I was that being playing this human role called Burt. And it never left me since then, truly. And things are deepening and deepening all the time and becoming clearer and clearer. So let's make it very simple. Okay, the human always wants control. Because all control is in being, but it doesn't know it. So the human always wants to be in control. Now that causes all the problems known to humanity. All emotional pain. Okay? The human wants to be in control. It doesn't realize that control is the realm of the being, because it's invulnerable. So what happens to the human because it wants control? It fears being controlled. You see? And that fear becomes so strong that it creates all the problems that it has, called ego. You see? And it resists being, which is, of course, what is being when we get down to it. It is the most powerful thing there is, of course, because it's love itself. It is totality. It is wholeness. Therefore, it is forgiveness. It is acceptance. Now, some people think of forgiveness, acceptance, surrender as weakness. It's the opposite. You see, when we look at the beings of history, like Jesus and Buddha and Ramana Maharshi, all the great ones, because they functioned from being. So I'd like you to keep that in mind. The human wants control. That is it. It wants control at all costs. And because of that, it fears being controlled. So that's its whole function. And then it wonders why it's not being, quote, spiritual, why the ego is in control. What I'm going to do, these are just the last, I didn't want to bore you with too many emails that I've been getting, but I just mentioned 3. And it will give you an idea how controlling the human is. And all it wants is being, but it doesn't know it. Okay? Oh, Burt, this game is not easy, the spiritual game. I don't like it at all. I clearly feel that I want my ego to die. I don't want it. I hate it. It's not useful, painful, and makes no sense. And yes, this is ego wanting, but that's how I feel. I think I want to die, but it is my ego I don't want. And you say, just see it. Yes, I am seeing, or trying to see it like clouds in the sky, like you say, that they are not me, or the real me, but feelings, always these feelings keep emerging. Isn't this clear that this is control?
It's beautiful, actually.
Yeah? You see?
Very honest.
Very honest. Oh yeah, these are beautiful because they are real, very honest. But to see that as long as the human wants control, it cannot be. You see, and this is the beauty. I wanted to see that no matter how, even if you're innocent, wanting this, and you don't want the ego, how not wanting the ego, who is it that doesn't want it? The very control itself, controlling the control, which is a vicious circle. That's why there are nervous breakdowns. This is why there's insanity. Another one. I think that one of the things that happens to me is the feeling that if I'm not thinking, there is no way to live daily life. I can be blank for a few seconds, but soon proceed to be doing daily things that include thinking, planning, organizing, and so on. Now, from the scripts, this person has the idea that it's true. Thinking does it all, right? Because you are the product, the human part is what you're thinking. What you're thinking materializes is what you believe. And therefore, he's perceiving that I must stop thinking. Control. How can you stop thinking? Can it be possible? There is no way that you can ever stop thinking. You see? Now, where does the being come in when there's a lot of thinking going on? Where does the being come in when there's all that thinking going on?
It's always behind it all.
Exactly.
Around it.
Yeah. The being is always there. If there was no being, how could you think?
Well, the being is the thinking too.
The being is the thinking, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. The being is the thinking. It is the emoting. It is all the emotions. It is everything that is happening. But it is a happening. And to being is being. So it doesn't matter. You see? It does not identify. It does not attach. You see? So there's no problem. Another one. Knowing the ego is an illusion doesn't help too much when someone hurts you or rejects you. To say to oneself, well, there is no real he or she after all, illusion or not, in the moment feelings emerge. And to do what you said, concentrate on the feelings without stories, is the most difficult thing I have tried in my life.
Is that what you said?
Those are the exact words, yeah. Yeah.
That is a tough one.
It is a tough one? Why is it tough?
To not put a story behind your feelings?
But you cannot not put a story. The story is always there with every thought.
Yeah.
Whenever a thought or emotion arises, stories are always present. Something okay?
Okay.
What happened?
It made a noise and the red light's not there. Is it okay, Burt?
Oh, I'll just check. Just hold on, those of you who are watching the video. Seems to be. Everything's okay. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it was okay. But thank you for that. So let's go back to what we were saying. Okay. You made a statement and I'd like to address it again. Stories. Stories will always be there as long as there are emotions and thoughts. The thought will not take on a reality unless there's a story with it. Emotion will not be experienced unless there's a story with it.
So how do you diffuse the story?
You don't. You don't. You never diffuse a story or get rid of it. This is control. If you try to get rid of a story, it's control. If you try to diffuse it, it's control. If you do anything with it, it's control.
And then it
Well,
comes
anyway-
back even further.
Remember what we said in a lesson?
It just comes more, right?
You remember what we said, to look at what is as it is? A story is a story. Why do anything with it? It's a story. Do you get it? Yeah.
Yeah,
It cannot affect you as long as you see it as a story. You see, we say, what is real? Being. Right? A story is not being. A story is something that comes and goes, comes and goes. Therefore, how real is it? It's real the moment we think about it, we feel it. But the moment you are in being, where's the story? So if it happens, it's just a story. You see?